Good evening, everybody. I'm Fictional Crystals, and in this video, I'm going to be giving my super late thoughts, hopes, opinions, analysis, predictions, theories, let's just say a talk about gem harvest. Let me just start off by saying that I predicted this episode would be about Lapis and Peridot farming. But along with that prediction, I suspected it would get quite deep. Guys, this is a 22-minute special episode, and you know how 22-minute special episodes go. They start off super lighthearted, and then they end like this. Plus, this is probably going to be the last episode of the year, so they're going out with a bang. In the extended clip from New York Comic Con, Steven is having a sleepover with Peridot and Lapis. They finally talk about that alien with antlers fusion thing on the barn, I don't know. Steven eventually finds Lapis manning the water and Peridot riding a tractor. They've been trying to grow crops to do their bidding. I found this part rather interesting. Peridot immediately called the corn a she, just like she did while looking at the holes in the beta kindergarten. This is further proof that all HomeWorld gems use female pronouns. She thinks the corn was made specifically for her since the corn was yellow and green. I really do think we'll learn something about the gems in this episode. Something about the characters, something about the plot, just anything. There's an underlying tone to these scenes. Such as the scene, Peridot throws the corn on the ground when she finds out it can't do what she wants. Similar to how the diamonds dispose of gems that don't do what they want. I'm clearly overthinking everything here, but this show has so many hidden meanings. The two miss the pitter-patter of gem soldiers. Could this possibly be foreshadowing for yet another food army? Peridot states that she has all the skills required for growing gems, since she is a certified kindergartner after all. This brings me to what actual gem harvesting might be. I'm just going to be throwing out a bunch of different theories here. Gem harvesting was first mentioned in Catch and Release. I think it has something to do with the life force of gems and repurposing them, such as in objects or structures. Pearls mention gem-powered stuff multiple times, even shattered gems can be useful. By doing this, gems could still help out their leaders in some horrible, twisted, awful way. They would still be conscious while trapped in the object. Maybe that's why Peridot was so scared. HomeWorld's resources are becoming scarce. They couldn't afford to shatter every gem that stepped out of line. Rarer gems specifically. So instead of destroying them completely, they would just put them to use in other things. Another variation to this theory is that gem harvesting is what's used in kindergartens. They repurpose gems by getting them to grow new gems with their remains. In the short How Are Gems Made, Amethyst states that they make new gems by shooting junk into the ground. The substance that comes out of the injectors could actually be melted gems. If HomeWorld's running out of resources to make new gems, they would need to recycle some of the ones they already have. Ones that they no longer want. I hope I got my facts right for this, but I'm no gemologist, so please forgive me if I get this wrong. Under extreme circumstances, gems can be melted, typically into a liquid, but sometimes into a powder. I'm simplifying this a bit. The substance that the injectors pour into the ground is actually the melted down parts of gems. Since this is a cartoon, they're not going to follow all aspects of real gemology. Some materials contain compounds or molecules that break down when you heat them. For purposes of this being a cartoon, you could translate this fact to melting down gems turns them into their base materials. They then reuse those materials to make new gems. Like how plants leave seeds, and those seeds grow into something new. Do you see how this would fit in with actual harvesting? This would help not only with the lack of raw resources, but also with getting rid of unwanted gems. Maybe there's a specific season for gems to be harvested into new resources. Ever noticed how the stuff inside injectors kind of looks like organs? Peridot used to be a kindergartner. She would have had to have worked with harvested gems. At least going by this theory. It's true that some gems like rubies and bismuths can withstand extreme heats, but they can still be grinded down. Still keeping with the theme of the gem's life force, harvesting could be the process of getting shattered gems and turning them into force fusions. We did get another glimpse at a forced fusion experiment in Earthlings, so I don't think we're done with the cluster yet. Although Peridot did mention getting the pumpkin dog to harvest the other crops. She seemed to think that the other pumpkins were alive just like her pumpkin dog. If she sees harvesting pumpkins the same way she sees harvesting gems, then harvesting gems could just be taking new gems from the kindergarten. Some of these theories have been talked about before, but I thought I'd shed some light to them in case you didn't know them. Whatever it is, I do feel like gem harvest will have something to do with Peridot's old role in HomeWorld. Another reason why one of these theories has a lot to do with the kindergarten. Anyway, I should probably talk about the clips more. Stephen helps Peridot and Lapis grow a sentient plant. I'm so glad they touched on this ability again. The clip from New York Comic Con seems to be edited since there's a sudden jump between the two scenes. His spit works and creates a pumpkin puppy. Much like the melon dog, but hopefully its lifespan is longer than that because otherwise that is unfortunately short. The pumpkin is only loyal to Stephen, much like the gems to their diamonds. This makes Peridot and Lapis unhappy, so Stephen helps him out by carving a pumpkin. In a way that makes me want to never carve a pumpkin again, but Halloween's coming up so I'm gonna. This puts the pumpkin dog off, so it goes to Peridot and Lapis. Now it's not loyal to Stephen. Why do I get the feeling that this is a huge load of foreshadowing? Maybe it represents the crystal gems rebelling against HomeWorld. Or actual gem harvesting, or maybe simply something that will happen later in the episode. There's a slim chance of this happening, but I really hope Peridot gets poofed in this episode. The episode after this will probably air in January, and by then it would have been a year since she became a crystal gem, and yet she still does not have a star. If this episode is the last one of the year, it should go out with a bang, and so should Peri. No, seriously, shoot her, she needs to get poofed. Anyway, Gem Harvest should be a really good plot-heavy episode, unless it turns out like last one out of Beach City and hit the diamond where we got completely misled by the titles, and it turned out just to be flirting for like 11 minutes straight, but those were still great episodes, so I'm fine if it is. Though we just had a bunch of light-hearted episodes, and this is a 22-minute special. They're not gonna spend all that time doing goofy comedy, are they? Plus, it's the first 22-minute special with Peridot and Lapis. I personally love every episode with either of them in it, since they always seem to have character development, plot development, or both. Who knows, maybe in this episode they'll talk about Jasper and the corrupted gems, unbubble her, and then take her for a walk with the pumpkin dog. Or we'll get to see and hear about some bubbled gems. Or maybe Lapis will be the one getting poofed, or we'll get a new fusion finally. Maybe the pumpkin dog starts a rebellion for its freedom, or it's secretly evil, I don't know. I swear that innocent-looking puppykin's either gonna be foreshadowing or a big metaphor for something terrible like death, because this is like basically a Halloween special, but it's not Halloween, and it's just, There's gonna be some sort of twist or revelation, I can feel it. Though, best case scenario, everything will turn out happy and they get to keep a pet pumpkin. I would actually really like to see some of those things. I'm pretty much happy with whatever happens, since at least we're getting a new episode. The episode may start off happy, but if you're like me, you'll be crying by the end of it. Even if you're not, and even if the episode doesn't turn out how I predicted, the video's still over, isn't it?